Three, two, one. How's it going, guys? It's Ian again, and we're on the road to season 3. This week we're going to be talking about the draft, just all kinds of information about the draft for those of you that are new, how it works, what happened last season's draft, how our teams evolved throughout that. As usual, today I got with me my co-hosts, Kid Sid, aka Steven.
What's going on, guys and gals? What is up? Welcome.
And then I got my guy, my usual co-host and furious rival, Zach Roselle.
Yes, in the flesh, in the shade.
Oh, that's what you went to go with?
Fleshy shade.
Okay, that's how he chose to go. So again, we're gonna be talking about kind of the draft furious rival. We're gonna be talking about the draft order this week, and just draft in general. We're gonna go ahead and put on a video for you guys to watch in the background. This video is actually interesting because it's the video that literally decided whether I went to finals or not. So for those of you that don't know, in season 2, Steven and I tied win-loss scores, and this battle was his last win that tied with me, and both of our final battles decided, like, down to points, which one of us was going to go to finals. So in this one, he actually beats Jay. Now, I forgot about it. A lot of it is RNG abuse, and that wasn't his fault necessarily, but he won a lot because of RNG. But this battle, he had 2 Pokemon left, and those are the 2-point differences between me going to finals last year and not going to finals. And I actually demolished my opponent this week. I was like practicing so hard. I was in the hyperbolic time chamber. Like I was like, I know Jordan. I know he's bringing Fake out. Bruck's just gonna fucking wreck him. Excuse my language. Like I was ready. I was like, I'm not gonna let Steven in his first actual season beat me out of finals or playoffs in my own like stream. And then he fucking did.
Look at this.
The gods, the RNG gods were like, Steven is going to finals.
Bro, it's so funny because I'm looking at this fucking Porygon. He takes the 2 hits. He takes the Hurricane, he takes the Thunder, he's still doing great. But the RNG kicks in, the Porygon gets confused, and then gets paralyzed. So...
Oh yeah, the paralysis was super clutch in this match, man. But that's kind of beside the point. Let's talk more about yes, this is an interesting video. We could talk about it more, but the purpose of this stream today is the draft. So, for those of you that don't know, all our teams are always drafted every season when we play. It's usually about 15 weeks or so that we go head-to-head. Commitment tends to be more like 20 weeks plus because there's bye weeks and time off that we allot players so that we don't all fucking kill ourselves. And can keep playing. So the initial and the most important moment of the season is the draft. I think we have all been there. I've been through 2 drafts. Both of you have been through 1 draft, and I think we all have been after the first week of our season been like, fuck, I didn't draft what I needed. I need trades. I need wires. Like why doesn't the wire have what I need it to have?
I complained about the wire viciously.
Yeah, originally you were like, I don't even understand the wire. Like, why is the wire? What is fucking? There's nothing on the wire. I was like, watch, people will drop stuff onto the wire. People pick stuff up. You see the point of the wire. Like, and what's funny about it is like season 2 is the second time we did that, and like we actually we created the wire in season 1 to allow for. We created the 1-1 trade. We created the trade window. And we actually, because we had an odd number of players that week, or that season, we had to come up with another clause that was like, the odd man, since it was 5 players. If it was bigger than 5 players, it wouldn't matter as much because sometimes people don't trade. But since it was only 5 players, it only allowed for 2 trades per week since you only had 1-1. So we always allowed the player with bye week to have 2 wires and no trades.
Right. So they could still kind of
Yeah, so they could still kind of like switch their shit up.
Right, right.
And so that was season 1, and then in season 2 we already had the idea of The Wire, and we kind of expanded on it. And the purpose of The Wire is like, as opposed to the draft, is to like flesh out your teams and like give you a little bit something extra, you know what I mean? And also to entice you to drop stuff off your team for other people to pick up, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just looking at the Suicune.
Oh,
How do you
yeah,
pronounce it?
battle. I'm sorry, Suicune.
Suicune. I'm just watching it come out and just protect. Right
Yeah.
now. Like, there it is.
Again, sorry about the late start today, guys. My tummy hurt. But yeah, so
No, there was. You're definitely right that there was a lot of RNG in this match. I've seen it from flinching, from the confusion, from the paralysis.
Honestly, I just don't think we forgive Jay for that match.
you know what's interesting though? I think what's awesome about this match in particular is that it kind of displays you all last season. Like, so technically a lot of your wins were like RNG based. You got to stack the column mines against Will that one time, like, and in the particular replay that I have queued up for this week of you, like, I'm just gonna spoil it because we're gonna get there eventually. In the particular replay, it's 10 minutes long. At 5 minutes, Steven has one Pokemon left, and that Pokemon proceeds to live for 5 minutes against basically the entire team of his opponent.
And we'll get to go into that, talking about the draft pool as well, as to what you should be looking for, what kind of mistakes we made, ones that stuck around. We've got a lot to talk about in the initial draft pool, from where we started to where we ended up.
You know what? I haven't even queued it up, but I'm gonna go ahead and grab an image of this rough draft that we have for the upcoming season. I'm gonna post that up here real quick in a second, because I think that we did it on the first week stream, but then I forgot to press record, so nobody ever got to actually see the draft on stream quite yet.
So is this week 1 teams or?
No, I'm about to queue up season 3's draft list for them to look at for what we're coming into.
Oh, whoa. Someone named the cleaner just called us weebs. And,
Weebs?
Dweebs.
Oh, dweebs.
Yeah. I think, someone needs to clean this,
I actually already have that image. Look at that. I already had it.
Is already good to go.
Someone needs to clean the cleaner's dirty mouth.
Oh, and also, like, why'd he bring Como? Like, nobody ever brought Como to any effect last season. He's like, he had it on his team. He was like, you know, I'm gonna risk it. The last week of the game. I'm gonna bring Como because I'm so sure that I got it.
He didn't. I tried to warn him. In all fairness.
Season 3 draft rough. Okay, I'm queuing it up, guys.
I just like how this Twitch became like how Jay fucked up.
No. That's not what this is about. Don't try to make it about that. This is not about that at all. Okay, so actually the battle's over, so we can go ahead and just cover up. I'm gonna just do this real quick. Hang on, let me queue this up. Alright, we can go ahead and cover up the video while I pull up our Season 3 draft list. It's kind of a skewed version for you guys watching, but I'm sorry, it's the best I could do right now because it's so large, because we're planning for 15 players.
Can you post a link in the Twitch chat?
Yeah, I can post that link. I guess I gotta do all the work.
Yeah, man.
No, to the doc? No, because that's a private doc. That's a league doc.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
You keep it official. Because, I mean,
yeah.
if you look at the last spot on that Excel sheet...
Can I post pictures? Because I'll give him a picture of it.
God, yeah, because that looks terrible.
Yeah, it doesn't look great. But, you know, hey, look, it's all about the quality.
Right.
Let's shut down the rest of the stuff that we're doing in the background, and maybe that'll help clear it up.
Who's in the Twitch chat?
Okay, so no, that's not even viable to look at. Oh wait, hey, that might be better. You can kind of see that a little bit better, right?
I don't know if they can on the stream.
We're gonna check. All right, guys. Sorry about this little snafu. I wasn't prepared with the Season 3 draft. But I do have prepared for you the season 2, week 1, and the final sets of teams. I'm just seeing if this looks any better for you guys here, and it doesn't. So we're just gonna move on. Season 3's draft is interesting though. You guys will take a look at it if you're members of the league. It's posted to the Facebook. Go ahead and post our Facebook link to the Twitch, I guess. Somebody, if you don't mind. I'm a little busy. But skipping on to a more legible series of pictures, we have the top image of teams is week 1, season 2 teams. So this is all the stuff that we drafted and after the first week of transfers. So there was like some trades and wire pickups, but this is what teams people were going in with in week 1. And then the bottom list is what teams look like going into playoffs and people who weren't going into playoffs, etc.
Oh no, it looks good. It looks good. Look. Well, that looks good.
Oh yeah, I guess my computer's just shitty.
No,
Anyway.
it's not. It's just...
Anyway, so the top list again, that's week 1. So let's talk about that real quick. And this is an interesting thing that I didn't even think about that Steven pointed out. This is also the draft order, the order of the names you see left to right, and the first Pokemon on all the teams are actually that person's first pick of the draft of last year.
Oh, was Gura first pick?
And if you actually look at them, like most of the Pokemon that were drafted first are mostly support Pokemon, like Klefki, Incineroar, Arcanine, and Smeargle.
Yep. Aris made sure that he had that Smeargle. And then, so the one thing to point out that's funny is Will's team is, in week 1 especially, is completely constructed by the rest of the draft members because he slept through the draft. So we had to auto draft him, and we did so.
Remember, people, do not sleep through the draft.
But we didn't give him a bad team. But this is everybody's week 1 team. So Steven actually, he drafted a Alolan Raichu thinking that it had Surf access.
Yep.
But it did not.
I wish he did, and now he's gonna have it in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah.
I drafted Incineroar because it's like that's like as soon as he came out as a Pokemon and he wasn't firefighting, even though he kind of is firefighting. I was like, that's my Pokemon.
I just realized that that's still kind of bad because he can't be breeded for Fake Out.
Who can't?
The Pikachu.
Well, oh yeah, because you got to make your choice, man.
Wait, what?
Maybe there's Fake Out Move Tutor.
Maybe, but yeah. Like,
or however you would get, like, maybe it teaches a Pikachu Surf, so you could breed one with Fake Out.
That would be awesome. That would be great, but I doubt it's that convenient.
Yeah, you know how Game Freak does. Somebody's gonna find a way around it.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the topic. Let's talk about these teams. We got do we want to just go off about what the teams got?
Well, no. So yeah, we'll talk about the draft. So these are what we drafted. Like I ended up getting Oricorio from you for the Mudsdale, so that was like a mutually beneficial trade. But
best mutually beneficial trade.
But then look at them as opposed to like the teams on the bottom, like how different they are really. Like I actually hate my playoff teams because I butchered it thinking I wasn't going, and then Steven was like, well, you know what, fuck it. Yeah. I earned my spot, you can have it. And like so I went in pretty unprepared for playoffs. And I think it's clear on my team.
Did you feel obligated to take that? Because you didn't have to.
No, I absolutely had to, because, like, if you weren't going to take it seriously, like, I wasn't going to let the playoffs, which they did end up inherently kind of, like, they did kind of devolve because Jordan and Jay couldn't fight, and then there was a couple other, like, push-offs, but, I mean, that's stuff that we learned from in Season 2. But, yeah, I mean, you can see how different the teams are here. Torterra never moved off of Jalen's team.
Yeah, yeah. Torterra was one of his pros.
So
I think what was consistent on my team? It was Slowbro, Ninetales, Sandslash,
Is there anything on
and
your team like you wish that you had like used better?
Vikavolt
I
too.
wish I definitely wish I used Scizor better because I definitely did not use
No,
Scizor
I
to its
mean
full.
in week one, like your week one team, something that you ended
Oh,
up
oh,
dropping, like Malamar, or you dropped
I'm sorry.
Dugtrio, I
Yeah, yeah.
think.
I Malamar actually, I really wanted to use him really bad for a Trick Room team, but you gotta remember when I was coming into this, and this is just letting y'all know. When I started in here, I started from scratch. I didn't have anything, nothing to Pokebang. I had to literally start from scratch. I didn't even have Power Save or anything at the time, so it was like what I was able to breed and raise is what I had.
Yeah.
So Malamar wasn't happening because I couldn't get it to good moves like knockoff and superpower from Oris. So it was like I literally couldn't use Malamar to his full
See,
potential.
that's interesting, and that's also like that's indicative of a new player. So we constantly told players in season two, and we'll be telling them in season three, like we have the stuff. If you want Pokemon, like if you need help breeding something or whatever, like ask one of the other players. If you don't want someone to see it, like go to their DMs. Like we will help you get those Pokemon.
Yeah, yeah,
You gotta
absolutely.
reach out, man. You gotta reach
And
out.
Except
I
Zach, cause he'll fuck you over if you ask him for
no.
anything.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
If
whoa.
you ask him for anything, he will
Who
fuck
who
you over.
who
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 accosted
allowed
this
this
man?
person to come into the stream? We will
Myself,
screen the cleaner out of the stream.
Bro,
you
I'm sorry,
know,
man.
what's good, brothers?
He came in
I'm
like a
sorry.
hero.
He did. He
Because
did.
I
Very much so.
had to save the people from Zach's voice. My lord.
But
Oh.
No, I'm joking.
if
Continue,
I
Zach.
if I had any other regrets, I'd probably say I wish I used Delmai better to his potential.
I also the regret that we all should have taken a lesson from in season two here that you can see on the bottom of the finals teams. We have shit like Diancie and Jiranchi and the one that allowed them all to come, the QRM base.
Whoa. Kyrian base was fine.
Yeah, listen, the decision ended up power creeping the entire season and into playoffs, but that's something that we learned from in season two.
A vote for Kyrian was a vote for progress.
Right. I guess.
Don't be like this guy, ladies.
So I queued up a couple videos. Jay, I'm assuming you'll just go on 10-second delay.
What? Yeah, sure.
Alright, so the first video I picked, this is week 4 of season 2. This is a team that I ended up like kind of trading for, and then like I was just excited to try new Pokemon, and I also was kind of new to doubles last season too. I wasn't an expert at it in any regard, and week 4 I wasn't close to where I am now at all. So I constructed this team without really. I was just like, I want to use Como, and you can even tell like Gur actually is missing a Pokemon on his team. He brought 5 Pokemon, and so this is kind of a moment in last season that one had me panic, and two, like after it, I like had to really analyze my Pokemon. Like this is not a bad team, especially the construction. It's not bad. It's just like it doesn't have the cohesion and the moves that I needed it to. I didn't know how to use it right.
Doesn't have synergy, but
Yeah.
I will say your team got a lot better once I gave you Oricorio. Like I made that point to you.
Well,
'cause
that
you were
was
like,
that's week 1. Like I got it off of you before we
yeah.
even
Well,
played.
remember,
Like,
because in week 1 you were like you picked Rabombi and you were like, I really like Rabombi. She's got Quiver Dance. She's got all these cool moves. I think she's gonna be a great Pokemon. And I told you I was like, well, why don't you get Oricorio? Oricorio is a great partner for Rabombi. And you were like, what? What are you talking about? What does it do? And I told you about its answer, and it was like love at first sight. You were like, I need this.
yeah, Oricorio ended up being honestly one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. I mean, if you watched last week's stream where I was demoing like the Dancer Squad, that's basically like the culmination of everything I learned from season 2. You know what I mean? Like that squad is almost 100% perfect. It would only be better if they gave me Intimidate Incineroar.
Oh my god, yes.
But yeah, like
So,
this week was a disappointment. This is one of the moments I want to talk about. You're gonna have disappointing weeks, and you got to try not to panic.
Well, Ian, so I'll ask you, did you have anything on your squad that you feel like you could have used better?
As far as like last season, like from week 1.
Well, yeah. Like anything on your week 1 team that you might have wished like you might have kept longer. Or like,
I wish I would have used Toucannon. I wish I wouldn't have drafted Zarina and Bruxis. As you can see there on mine, I have Zarina and then Bruxis. Like they both do basically the same thing. I should have chosen one or the other.
right.
And like honestly, Bruxis was great for me. I wish I had used Passimian. I should have never gotten rid of Passimian.
You definitely should have never got rid of Passimian.
And Palo Sand, I just couldn't find his niche.
Can we just talk about how Jay started with Aerodactyl, and then that shit just went to Will, and Will would not give that up?
I don't think we ever saw Helioisk from Jay. I don't think we saw.
You know what?
He never used Hawlucha.
I'm actually
going to use Hawlucha. What do you mean?
Oh, you did?
Yeah, like twice, and then it didn't work out.
Did you
So
use
I
Heliolisk?
think I gave it to Reese, and I think I used Heliolisk one. But like, I'm looking at this, I'm just like, I definitely wish I drafted better. And I feel like there was a point where I got something that I feel like could work. But then I was like the two trades, 2 wires for the playoffs. I feel like I felt a little pressured to like switch it up.
Oh, we all.
I feel like I ended up like, like butchering a squad that I feel like shouldn't really have.
That's
like,
exactly
needed to be butchered.
That's exactly how I felt my going into playoffs too. Like I butchered it.
Yeah, I definitely felt like I traded too much too.
And just like the initial draft, I just felt like since I was so inexperienced with doubles, I made the mistake of like drafting each mon, thinking it could do what it would do in singles, and I'd just be fine.
But not work with it.
Yeah, that was like a big thing for me, and I definitely learned a lot. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be able to draft better this upcoming season.
And to your point, actually about butchering. Yeah. To your point about butchering your team too, like, and this is something that I think everybody should really think about, and it's kind of indicative of the playoff teams and who did what and who ended up doing good. If you look at the teams that made playoffs, like they all had their cores and they kept their cores, they just changed up around their cores. You know what I mean? The best teams had like 1 to 2 cores. Zach, you were like Trick Room and Hail. And then you would change around your support where you could almost make a team, like a third team, out of your extra mon. You know what I mean? And that's what you would change up would be your third team.
That's the finalizing of your core at the end of the season.
Yeah, you want to make sure to stay true to your core though, because those people that did stay true to their core, they did better in playoffs and in season, and they went to finals. You know what I mean?
And I think you can still see where it's like growing as well. Because I mean, if I look at mine, I could have used Empoleon. Zoroark, we talked about him earlier. I wanted him to work, but in the double setting, it's just Passimian, they're going to be putting out some new stuff for him. His actual ability may be coming through.
See, both you and Jay last season wanted to use Passimian thinking that his other ability was available. I remember that. And I was like so confused as to why you guys didn't think of a great way to abuse Pass. Because like that's a great ability.
Yeah.
Like, I just have a tendency, like maybe which is probably like bad on me, to just pick up a mon specifically for a matchup. And I think I was facing Jordan that week. And I know Jordan runs a lot of Intimidate. So I was just like, okay, let me catch him off guard. With the Defiant, he comes out, he's going to try to knock me down. What happened?
Defiant, amazing ability.
Yeah, but I didn't know that it wasn't like released yet. So it was just awkward, and considering that like I already made like the transaction. But
you were like, damn,
things
buyer's
happen,
remorse. Buyer's remorse.
Yeah, things happen. Just gotta learn.
I had buyer's remorse for Registeel when I just could not get Assassin Claws Registeel, and I'm just like, well, I guess I'm stuck using Explosion as my only attacking move. I guess.
Oh man, I'm over here looking at Will's final team. I can't believe I let Sal Azazel go. Like, I should have. I was iffy about it to begin with. I just felt like I had a lot of fire, but I didn't get rid of the right fire Pokemon. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Like, I mean, I felt like you definitely had too much fire, and it was really just a decision between Incineroar or Salazzle. Because, like, the problem was with you was, like, you had both, and they both really kind of did the same thing, but just differently.
Yeah, but if you, I mean, you saw that Dancer Squad with the double fake out switch pivots. You know what I mean? Anyway. So this is just kind of
You were at my gym, bro. You were there.
Stuff that we learned about in season 2 and like the differences of our teams. My teams over here is not bad, but one, I switched it up a whole bunch, didn't even know how to use it. Two, I abandoned some things that I actually really needed to like keep myself going, and and that killed me because I wanted to do certain things. Like I had all the event dogs, so like I didn't get Suicune. Suicune was on Jay's the whole time, but I did have both Entei and Raikou at one point, and I used Raikou's Weather Ball to great effect last season, where like I used somebody else's weather against them and like got a water I did it on Jordan. I got Weather Ball Rain on his Arcanine. and Oko to hit.
Yeah, that was sick. I remember that. That shit was crazy. Like, we had Jordan's matchup to a T. It was insane.
Yeah, it was pretty dope. Yeah. But anyway, but yeah, those are just things that we learned, and that was my second season, and you can kind of see that I kept to kind of my core in the end, but I just abandoned the wrong shit. And if you had watched the whole season, you would have seen that I did mostly up until mid-season. I kept everything that I was supposed to, and then mid-season I just started going wild.
Yeah.
I think a lot of players have a tendency to go wild in mid-season.
I mean, they get more options available to them from the wire, from people dropping them off, picking them off. I like shit. Why not? You've got an opportunity to mix and match.
There's that feeling of rushing. I'm sorry, I'll let you go after I say this, Zach. There's that feeling of rushing, of being like, oh, if I don't pick this up, somebody else might get that, and you know what I mean? Like, there's also that part of the strategy to it.
Did we even talk about first pick? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say that trading gets really addictive after a while. Like, you always want to like you feel like you're afraid of becoming predictable, so you want to trade stuff and like have something new to bring to the table. So it gets pretty tough.
It's true.
So I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna queue up this match so we can actually talk about some stuff that can involve players, and we're also gonna do a battle royale finally live for Zach. We played it a little bit last week. I broke my DS, got it fixed. We're ready to do it. But we're gonna play this video, and I'll talk about this video as relates to the draft, so you can kind of get a feeling of why I did so poorly against Dre. He didn't even bring 6 Pokemon. Zach, you ready?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to let the newer viewers know we actually had a little inside joke about this match that Gur didn't even need to bring 5 Pokemon to beat Ian.
6, but yeah. What's funny about this though is like if you look at Gur's team, and I hate to switch back to that already, but if you look at Gur's team, he didn't have a lot of good support. Like his team, you give him like a taunt and like just like intimidate and like fuck his whole squad up. You know what I mean? Like
I mean he had Klefki.
Yeah, but he wasn't using it. Like he didn't know how to use it right. You know what I mean? Like and I just became the victim of like also not knowing how to use my shit and him having more power. And that's what this match is about. Like so I mean, are you ready? Because that's exactly what I want to talk about.
I'm ready.
All right. 1, 2, 3, go. So like that's actually the entire purpose I queued this match up for. Like I just didn't know what I was doing with my team. You know what I mean? I got Mimikyu. I wanted to use Mimikyu. Like, what did I lead? I led Como or Korea, what, like Swords Dance Pass, maybe?
Yeah, this is when you were really trying to make Como work. A lot of people were trying to make Como work last season. It just was not happening.
But that's funny because it's like actually a really big key thing this year. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like
absolutely. That Z move is broken.
Yeah, he pretty much
Dazzling
just
Gleam just coded me right there. Yeah.
He just came out hitting, man. Like he just.
Yeah, he was
and maybe that's how he was building his
What's
team.
What's funny
though,
is
you know,
that's when I
he
learned.
got
That's when I learned the double protect.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck that.
Do we utilize this Passimian?
So this is the whole thing. I'm thinking, he'll kill Palossand and pass that water compaction over to Passimian. Like, I'm so amateur at doubles at this moment. He's just like, I've got a 130 base speed Dazzling Gleamer. I'm just gonna fucking rock you.
He was like, I don't give a crap about this stuff.
Yeah, none of your Pokemon are outspeeding my guy. Like, I take out Scrooge, I'm like, alright, I got momentum here, right? Like, you know what I mean? But, like, I just didn't know how to use my team. I wish I could have used Palossand better. I sucked at using Palossand.
Decidueye was another Pokemon we really get to see a lot of last season.
Yeah, I think we'll probably see a little bit more of him this season.
I hope so.
I'm hoping it's actually not a bad Pokemon.
I'll tell you right now, I'm hoping Decidueye is a bad dude.
Boom. Palossand's just like, oh yeah, I'm alive. Giga Drain doesn't heal him enough.
Nope.
47 health? What type of shit is that? See, and that's also a thing I didn't really think about. I should have used him with Shore Up. You know what I mean? Right. I didn't even think about using that ability.
Yeah, you decided you like, no.
Spirit Shackle kills fucking Palossand, and then, like, Incineroar basically just faked out Zumaro for no reason. It's like, oh, bro, I thought I had your back. I faked him out for you.
And then Mimikyu. Yo, man.
That's just a bad story from there.
Yeah. Super effective. Oh, where's that bird at?
Decidueye is just like, I'm gonna shackle you. But yeah, so you can see, like, I use Swords Dance Mimikyu, like, I could have done Splash Mimikyu, set up really well, and just started sweeping. I thought Swords...
Oh, sorry.
I thought Swords Dance was enough, you know what I mean?
I thought Swords Dance set is actually his better set, honestly. I feel like the Splash variant, it's too gimmicky.
Focus Sash fucked me over, man.
It surely did.
Because it made me have to kill Decidueye. But I didn't. I was like, fuck it, I'm going for that Azumarill, stop that Aqua Jet. And then,
right, yeah, you had to do that. Yeah.
And then he kills, I think he kills him, right? Yeah. And that was that was my only hope to really sweep him right there, was Swords Dance Mimikyu.
Oh, I didn't see your leech life here.
Took that one health.
Give me that!
He really wanted it. He needed exactly 59 HP. Oh,
dude, this was before I even knew about other berries.
Oh,
was that joke for a while? A guava
berry. And look at his team, like, no, this is a fucking... the only synergy that he has here is that Discharge isn't gonna hurt his Flygon.
Yeah.
Hey, it is what it is, man.
He just has basic attack synergy, you know what I mean? Like, and that's something, and that's something that if he had gone forward would not have worked for him, you know what I mean?
Right. I hear you.
Pause. And next I have it's funny, I had to rename this video because it says Jay versus Zach originally, but it's actually Jordan versus Zach, because this was back when they were both named Jay. And I watched it thinking it was between you two at first, and I was like, wait, that's fucking Jordan. So
I
this
had bad memories. Memories of this match.
yeah, this is what I mean. This is a moment where it's like you're using your team and then like failing to use it to its potential, and also stacking it together with stuff that might not have matched necessarily. Like I don't really think Azumarill necessarily belongs on this squad.
No, the whole idea behind the squad was that I was going to use Aurora Veil and set up with Belly Drum Azumarill.
Oh well, let's see how that works for you. You ready?
It doesn't work.
1, 2, 3, go. So we're queuing it off.
Spoiler.
Also, like, so you want to set Aurora Veil, but you lead Mudsdale and Comfy? Is that what you did?
Yeah, I think that was actually a misclick, if I remember correctly.
Like, oh no, even worse almost. You lead That's My Horse and Persian. Like you're not going to set up your Aurora Veil. Now it's like 2 turns too late at best.
And then,
yeah.
Oh, hey, there's that famous double protect that came out hot in Season 2. That's that tech.
That tech.
High horsepower misses, both your shit misses. Nothing happened. You lost everything. Your fake out went nowhere.
I would definitely say I heavily underestimated the power of Snorlax.
This is, I think, the only time he even used the Snorlax, too. And this is the only time Oranguru gets used effectively.
He used this combo a couple times. And Reese used the Oranguru with Torkoal.
He did, but then he didn't, if you recall.
Right.
He did, but then he was like, nah, we played that team twice. I'm not bringing that team again.
There goes the berries.
That Wiki Berry, man. He said, let me check out this Pedia.
I'm telling you though, I was the pioneer of the crazy berries, and they worked well.
Well, I don't know that you're the pioneer, but I know that you started using them to a better effect, and we jumped on the bandwagon.
That harvest was
right.
I think Aris used berries really well too. I mean, Aris had that knowledge, but Jay used it too. I think beforehand. I learned a lot about items in Season 2.
Yeah.
I think it was actually like, what was it, if I remember correctly? I think it was the last match I played against Aris. I think literally almost 5 of the 6 Pokemon I brought had a berry.
Yeah.
I recovered it.
And like that's what I'm talking about. Like you had to learn that stuff, you know what I mean? And what's interesting about doubles is sometimes you're like using 2 Pokemon, like, so my Passimian and Incineroar, when I use them on the same team, I was more inclined to give Passimian Assault Vest, even though I liked it better on Incineroar at the time or whatever. And I just never found the right set to combo them together. And It would have been great if he had Intimidate.
Right. And like now you see here, like I'm like, trying to like pull off a combo.
Dude, imagine that. Passimian comes in, and Incineroar's almost dead, right? You bring him in when he's almost dead. He gets 1 fake out. Then you Earthquake with Passimian, kill Incineroar, fucking grab his Intimidate, and Intimidate again.
But yeah, I think right here is like I was kind of panicking because I'm looking at like a Z Belly Drum Snorlax, and I'm like, what the fuck do I do?
You got this big old
Kill it with ice.
You just like looking at you.
Kill it with ice. Z Belly Drum and he goes twice.
Yep.
Mhm.
Snorlax protects.
And he protects twice in a row, and it works twice.
Oh yeah, that's a risky move that sometimes pays off for adventurous players.
Yeah. And I was just like, screw my life.
But yeah, like, so...
I hate Jordan Snorlax. I'm just gonna say it right now.
Again, this is a moment where, like, you led wrong, you know what I mean? Like, and maybe it was a misclick, but that's the way she goes, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean, it is, like, I'm not gonna say, like, I didn't deserve to lose. I definitely lost. Once I let him pull off Trick Room twice, I definitely lost.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, that's not. I wasn't saying you. I was just saying like this is a moment where you had a team that you had put thought in, but you didn't execute well.
Yeah, like there was definitely a lot of bad plays that went in this match.
And sometimes some things you were just using for the first time, you know what I mean? And like you didn't really get to test them out. And that's kind of a lesson for the newer players about this is like test your shit.
Get some battles. Talk to people.
Exhibition if you have to. I mean, you don't want to give away your goose, you know, but like
that'd be a cool implementation.
Also, a really good tactic. I can't really pull one up right now, but at the start of every replay, there's a code. So like, we also have to post those codes. It behooves you to watch those codes. You can even battle the trainers from those codes. Like you can test your shit.
Yeah. You definitely can, because you'll come in thinking one thing, but when you actually get in and play test, it's a whole other story. You just gotta.
And playtesting, a really big benefit of that for newer players. It kind of gives you more perspective on predicting your opponent. You're like, when I playtested this, I fucked up by not doing this or whatever. You know, like now I'm ready to predict that fuck up.
Also, if I remember correctly, I fucked up here really bad because I wasted a turn right here.
By switching into Comfy?
No, because I didn't realize something. You'll see.
Gotta go fast.
I protected, and then yeah.
You couldn't.
You've protected your own floral healing.
Well, I mean,
I didn't realize he wouldn't heal from it.
That's interesting, though. That's another thing. That's another reason playtesting is important, because that's how I figured out all kinds of shit about like Bruxus's implications and Dancer's implications. Like, for those of you that don't know, if you fake me out as a dancer and then my Pokemon does a dance move, my dancer will trigger flinch, but then my normal move will go through because you only flinch me once, right. But dancer counts as 2 moves. So there's like implications like that. You can't heal under a protect. Right. Stuff you might not have thought of, but you got to play test it to figure it out. You can't
do protect with water absorb and expect to get the surf.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, I understand why you did it, Zach, because that floral healing, you know, it has triads, it has priority. You didn't even think about the protect too. Did it have triage?
I honestly think if he had gotten that off, yeah, it had triage. If he had gotten that off, this might have been a different game.
Maybe. But like I said, I made questionable plays. Like
and then the RNG hit you.
I should have definitely like whatchamacallit, set up the belly drum right when I brought out a Zoom arrow for the first time, but I panicked. I panicked, hit the Aqua Jet because I was like, I don't want to take that Snorlax.
Yeah, but he was setting up, and you were like, oh man, I should have set up. You didn't set up. You let him set up because you were scared. You got shook, yep. And that's the whole purpose of Jordan's team is to intimidate you, and smack you in the mouth.
I guess you could say he faked me out.
Yeah.
I heard that sigh.
We can't all be experts.
I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I just feel so lost because I don't have the replay to look at. So I'm just.
You're 10 seconds behind if you watch the Twitch.
Yeah, but you guys were speaking about certain moments. I'm just like, when did that happen?
Oh yeah, I feel
just things like that.
I feel you.
Maybe if you weren't such a loser.
Oh, okay.
Whoa, man. Come on, keep it in your pants.
You see how I've been nothing but professional since I've entered this.
I know, right? That's ridiculous.
I call BS. I call BS. You have not been professional. I've been professional.
Okay, Zach.
Man, so you can see the difference in this game. The reason that he lost is entirely. Oh man, look at that, man. You even got past his Snorlax Oranguru combo, and he still has his core of Fake Out, Intimidate ready to go. Like, he's just schooling you, man. Like, he just knew his team better. Like, that's the only difference here, is he just knew his team better than you in this week.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I would say more like
you lost.
Well, yeah, because I made bad plays.
Could one argue that making bad plays means that you don't know your team as well?
No.
I mean, I don't think so.
I'm just saying I made questionable decisions when I had a better option. It's not as like I didn't act my team.
Okay, but if you had known your team better, you might not have made those questionable decisions.
No, I mean, like, I'm saying, like, I made questionable choices because I panicked. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
you think that I think that panicking is a part of not knowing your own team. You know what I mean?
I debate that. I don't think that's necessarily true.
Like,
I could just make a bad call. It has nothing to do with my team. It's just I made a mistake.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that's very odd.
Dude, are you setting up belly drum now?
Yeah.
This is such a late game.
I mean, he's a late game sweeper.
Sometimes you forget, man. This is week 6, by the way. So what's interesting about the periods of replays, by the way, the series that I chose is week 4 between me and Gurr, week 6 between you and Jordan, and then it's week 7 between Zach and Mike. And that one's just a shit show. But it's entirely about how he drafted, though. And so that I chose all of these. These are all pre-mid-season draft teams. All the videos. So this is theoretically what you could have accomplished within the first couple of weeks by trading, etc. You know what I mean? This is your fresh teams.
Right. What'd you kind of look to do? Where do you want to go?
And I looked at it because Gurr dropped. We did. I mean, I know it was a lot longer because of all the bye weeks and stuff, but we did do technically 14.
That poison fucked me so bad.
We did 14 weeks officially.
That one. I guarantee it.
That poison death is what killed me so bad.
No, Flowey, you were supposed to be the healer.
And like the fake out, and then he just poison jabs me right here. I was just
dude, Araquanid was so fire.
Well, it was just like
I loved Araquanid last season, man. I never even got to use it.
Oh, okay.
What?
I said I didn't know that.
That I didn't get to use it? What?
Yeah. No.
Okay, so Araquanid though, no, I was just saying that like it was a dope Pokemon last season. Jordan got to use it a lot, and then I think after mid-season, like he didn't use it as much, and then eventually he would drop it, I think, and nobody picked it up, and I think Araquanid didn't get as much love as it should have.
Yeah. Should have picked it up, bro.
I know, man. There's so many regrets. We all have those regrets of like, oh, you should have picked that.
Yeah.
Okay, so going into the third replay before we go. By the way, if you got your DSs and you're playing in the multi-battle, which I assume most, if not all of us are, go ahead and just kind of put your multi-battle team together, because eventually we're gonna do that.
Hold on, we're doing multi or we're doing battle?
I mean, battle royale, whatever. We're gonna do a best. We're gonna do a best of 3.
Okay. Different teams or same teams?
Just get 2 teams ready.
Okay.
Alright, but while you guys do that, I'm gonna talk about this matchup here. So
okay.
It's week 7 of season 2. This is Mike versus Steven, as indicative of the kid Sid Monicum. And Mike's team so much better put together. So he's got like all this support. He's got his fat Jellicent ready to fucking. What is that ability Jellicent has?
There's one that's Curse Body, and then
it has Water Absorb, and it has whatchamacallit?
Curse Body or whatever. That like
Curse Body. Yes.
It's crazy. Yeah, way to go, Steven and Zach. And then his basically his signature team. Minus the, he's got a couple different supports, like Chimecho and Spinda in this one. But Steven's over here abandoning, and this, if you look at this team, so he's clearly abandoned he's like, I'm gonna bring rain, but fuck all the lightning. Like, I just want them to get wet, alright? And then also I'm gonna toss some plants in there, and then I'm gonna put this ground guy that's kind of hovering around.
If I had to say, I would say this is my Jurassic team. It was what I
It was bad.
I mean, you know. But I had ideas for it.
But so, and here's another interesting part. Like, so basically, and this is kind of this sucks. It's about draft though. Like, I had Vaporeon in season 1. I love Vaporeon. I had one named Titus. It served me well all season. Steven drafted it, wasn't using it, and like then every week he would like taunt me with it. He would be like, "You want this Vaporeon? You want this? What you gonna do for this Vaporeon?" And so he basically had finally decided to give it to me. But this week he was like, well, I'm going to at least use it one time. I'm going to use this Vaporeon one time. So he brings the Vaporeon as a way to be like, I did use it. I didn't just draft it to taunt you. Like, of course, I did have a plan. But it turns out he didn't, and it failed. And he should feel bad about it.
Damn.
You ready, Zach?
Yeah.
All right. 1, 2, 3, go. So Mike is a solid player, and he knows a lot about doubles, and his team construction was pretty much on point too. He kept.
Go on, sorry.
He kept his team core pretty much all season, man. That Stoutland is not. It's not on this particular team, but that Stoutland was a beast.
Yeah. Man, that Spinda though, I really wish I drafted Spinda. I like Spinda.
Yes. I don't know crap about Spinda, so enlighten me.
Well, it's got Fake Out.
Okay, is that what he just did?
Yes. But other than that, he has a lot of really cool support moves. He gets Trick Room, he gets Contrary, Superpower, Knockoff.
Oh, he does have Contrary. That's one of like the 3 or 4 Contrary Pokemon. Like there's Superior, Malamar, Spinda.
Yeah. So like you could do like Superpower, Knockoff, all of the really cool stuff. Like you can do a little bit of everything.
So basically, this video, I'll just go ahead and spoil it for you. It's just him losing Pokemon until there's this one point that he just has one Pokemon, and it's Vaporeon, and it stays alive for 5 minutes straight.
Mm-hmm.
So this whole team it had no cohesion. He just knew that people knew he was going to bring... You know, it actually might have helped you if you had brought Thunder support with this. Like, Jalessa and Togekiss would have been both super vulnerable to that.
Yeah. I mean, which I ended up going with, ultimately, altogether.
Yeah, in the end, that's what you always do.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, that's how, like, the team ended up evolving as we play. You know?
And this was a different Drampa set than you usually use.
Mm-hmm. Like,
all right, I just remembered that Battle Royale is a whole nother game.
Huh?
I just remembered that Battle Royale is a whole nother game.
so can you do it with 3 people?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's supposed to be done like that.
No, it's supposed to be done with 4 people.
That's what I mean. He meant like 3. I think it's George, Jay, you, Zach, me.
Yeah.
Jay?
Yeah, I can't find my ideas right now, and I don't know if I'm gonna find it in time.
That's fine.
But I mean, I could try. Just don't want to like make you guys wait.
It's cool. I think also Jordan had talked about doing it.
Try looking for it now.
I think that's what he's doing. Anyway,
Well, hurry
First of all,
up.
Zach, I need you to start telling me what to do, bitch. Alright?
Hey, Jay. They call you the cleaner, but you need to clean up and look for your DM.
come on, man.
Zach, that's not funny. Oh my goodness.
Come on.
It's funny to me.
Jordan's down.
Oh man. Sunny Day Drampa.
My man,
He's like,
Jordan
I'm using
coming in
2.
clutch.
I'm using 2 teams. 2 weathers.
Hey, I actually like the idea of double weather. I've tried it before. It works pretty well.
Oh, and the fucking sand stream just came and fucked it all up.
Came in like I'm wrecking ball.
Man, this guy.
I know.
This guy.
just eating your team alive. Did you ever get a chance to really use Victor Bell?
No.
He didn't even use his weather on you until the last. He was like, "Oh, you can use 2 weathers on me, bruh." Like, I'll wait. I will wait.
I will bring the sand out when I feel like it.
And he got credit too.
So here's that moment. Actually, it's after this turn.
See, this is what I don't understand.
So wait, if you had Sunny Day Drampa and he has Cloud9, then what was the point of this team?
Huh?
What was the point?
He wasn't using Cloud9 Drampa though.
Yeah, he is. It
No,
just
it
said
was.
Cloud.
Well,
It
see,
said
what had
Cloud9.
happened is he was just supposed to set the sun. That way, Victory Bill would get the chlorophyll.
But why would it get chlorophyll if you negate the effects of the weather?
Well, see, that's what I don't understand. Is because I don't really like. Because it didn't really negate the effects of the weather here either.
I'm confused. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys.
All right.
Yeah, but anyway, after this moment, here comes my boy Titus, the fake Titus. Actually, this isn't the OG real Titus. This is his. This is his imposter. This is him sitting there with his goatee on. Titus using Ice Beam. Titus don't use Ice Beam.
Oh, bro, I know. Cool.
But he stays. You know, he does his deed, man. He stays alive for a good 5 minutes by himself. And now that you have Ice Beam, he's like afraid to bring out that Tyranitar. So I hope you guys, those of you who played last week, I hope you remember kind of the dynamic of how that multi-battle works, or the battle royale works, man.
It's still based off Pokemon speed.
Remember how important Protect is. I guess that's true of every battle style, though.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
I'm almost ready.
Who are you gonna call? Did y'all even really want Pelipper?
Nobody wanted Pelipper. We just wanted you to stop using Rain.
What was that one Pokemon that you just didn't want to let go of?
Incineroar for sure. I think we all knew that.
What about for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I'm reading online that Cloud9 negates all effects related to weather, so like abilities too. So like Stoutland wouldn't get like the sand boost, blah blah blah, all that. So really, your team really didn't work.
Don't judge my man. We just watched a video where your team didn't work.
Huh?
You heard me.
I didn't hear you.
I said, don't judge my man. We just watched a video where your team didn't work.
Fair.
What else we gonna add to this team, bro? I feel like I'm making just like teams of 3,
Zach.
6 blocks.
Yeah.
DMs.
Don't y'all? No.
Alright, never mind. Never mind. No DMs. I actually see that I have already answered my own question with a better version of itself.
Oh no, DMs.
No
DM me.
No DMs. I don't want to be anywhere near your dirty DMs.
Damn.
No. So we established this. You were shady. We got you.
I'm
on
not shady, bro.
UrbanDictionary.com.
If you want to call me anything, you can call me a mastermind, but that's not shady.
No, you shady. We got it on UrbanDictionary.com. Azu is now an official term.
As reported by Akai Kage, like I saw your friggin' name there, bro. And not an idiot.
I was laughing so hard. Like, I know you didn't reply like or comment the thing, but like I was like I can feel his seething anger at seeing this.
I actually have 2 teams ready to go now. Let me just make sure they all have items, and I'll be ready to go.
5 more days, boys.
I know, right? We haven't even talked about that yet.
Time.
Hey, Jack.
I don't got time right now.
You asked a question.
Mute him.
See? Come on, Zach.
Huh?
Come on, Zach.
Come on, what?
Come on,
bro.
Come on.
Exactly. Come on, bro.
What are you talking about?
Enough.
Come on.
Come
I
on.
don't know what you.
Cut the shit.
I don't know what you mean. Come on.
Are you gonna come on?